Week 11 of the fantasy baseball season, and here's a few pitchers I would drop this week. The first guy, Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers. So deGrom in the offseason leaving the New York Mets, going to the Rangers on a 5-year mega deal, but now he's out for the season with Tommy John surgery. In the last few seasons, injuries have been a concern, and that's why the New York Mets didn't bring him back. And even coming into the fantasy year, I wasn't too in on deGrom, thinking he could get injured, and that's exactly the case, unfortunately, here. And now he's going to miss, obviously, the rest of this season and most of next year as well. And the problem is he just throws too hard, I believe, is deGrom. 98 to 100 miles per hour fastball. That slider anywhere from 94 to 97 miles per hour. And it's just too much torque on the arm. So he finishes this season 30 and a third. 2-0 record, 45 Ks, a 2.67 ERA. 0.76 whip and 3 quality starts. So he went out there and he pitched good baseball for the Rangers. But him being an elite pitcher and a fantasy option, foreseeable future, I just don't buy into it. Once he's back to 100% health after this long rehab and return, he's going to be 36, 37 years old, is Jacob deGrom. So right now, still only 52% of fantasy leagues. I know Dynasty and Keeper leagues, they want to keep him, but I just don't see any reason to really keep deGrom. Like I said, he's possibly out half of next season as well. So right now, he's an easy pitcher to drop, and hopefully he comes back next season or even in 2025 and could be a good pitcher once again, but it's going to be a long way for deGrom. The next pitcher is Patrick Sandoval of the Los Angeles Angels. So Sandoval last season was a solid rotation piece, the Angels and fantasy owners in the back end. But so far this season, we haven't seen much from him. 63 and 2/3, 3-6 record, 48 Ks, 4.52 ERA, a 1.45 whip, and 4 quality starts. But over the last month, he's been one of the worst pitchers in fantasy baseball. 26 and 2/3, 0-5 record, 22 Ks, a 6.08 ERA, a 1.73 whip, and 2 quality starts. So he's still owned as well in 52% of fantasy leagues here as Patrick Sandoval. But he's not a guy I'm going to count on right now for fantasy owners. I know his next matchup later in the week is coming up at the Kansas City Royals, which is one of the worst hitting teams in the bigs. But still, I don't think Sandoval's a guy that's going to be consistent. And he had some pretty decent matchups recently, and he couldn't contribute or do much in those ball games. May 28th versus the Marlins, 6 innings, got the loss. 8 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 2 Ks, a quality start. June 3rd at the Astros, he got lit up in that one, 3 1/3. Got the loss, 8 hits, 6 runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks. And then June 10th, mediocre matchup on paper versus the Mariners. 5 innings, got the loss. 10 hits, 5 runs, 8 Ks. So I know he's whiffed a lot of guys in that ball game. 20 swings and misses, but I just don't buy into Sandoval this season. I know he's got a good offense backing him, but he's just not going out there and getting the job done. So right now, 10, 12-team leagues, I would drop Sandoval this week here. And it's unfortunate. I thought coming into the year he'll be a decent starting pitcher for the back end of your rotation, but that obviously hasn't been the case. The next pitcher is Manoa of the Toronto Blue Jays. So Manoa, he's been so bad this season here that they sent him all the way down to the complex in single A with this Toronto Blue Jay team. So after last season, a monster year, 16 and 7 with a 2.24 ERA. This year was a train wreck, 58 innings, 1-7 record, 48 Ks, a 6.36 ERA, 1.90 whip, and 2 quality starts. So Manoa, I gave him a few chances over the last few weeks, but once he got sent down to the complex, there was no reason to hold on to him. And yes, I could see him coming up by July once again as Manoa, because the Blue Jays are a little thin in that rotation. But right now, he's not a guy I could count on, and not a pitcher that we don't know if he could turn it around. Maybe it's the pitch clock. Maybe it was he getting his luck the last couple seasons for him. But whatever the case may be, he was one of the worst pitchers in fantasy. May 25th at Tampa Bay, 3 innings, got the loss. 3 hits, 4 runs, 5 walks, 6 Ks in that one. May 31st versus the Brewers, 4 innings, got the loss. 3 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 2 Ks. And then June 5th versus the Astros, did him in inning and a third. Got the loss, 7 hits, 6 runs, a walk in that one. So right now, he was getting hit all over the park. He's Manoa. I definitely think he'll come back July or August the latest for this team. But right now, there's no reason to stash him. I'd rather stash better prospects in the minor leagues, like a Ben Brown, a Kyle Harrison, an Emmett Sheehan, guys like that. I'd rather stash on my NA spot than Manoa. And it's surprising he's still owned at 55% of leagues. I would drop him this week. The next pitcher is Carlos Carrasco of the New York Mets. So Carrasco came off the injury list a few weeks ago and he's been once again pretty much a 5-inning pitcher at best for this Met team and not doing much on the year. 41 innings, 2-3 record, 24 Ks, a 5.71 ERA, 1.46 whip, and 2 quality starts. So Carrasco last season, he was a nice back end of the rotation guy for the Mets and fantasy owners. 15-7 with a 3.97 ERA, but this season we really haven't seen much from him. And this Met offense, they don't score a lot of runs either. Now they've lost 8 out of 9 ball games, so Carlos Carrasco not going deep into games. The Mets are not winning games, and right now there's no reason to hold on to him. The last few games for Carrasco, May 31st versus the Phillies, 6 innings, got the win, 6 hits, a run, a walk, 4 Ks, a quality start. June 6th at the Braves, 5 innings, no decision, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks. And June 11th at the Pirates, he didn't even go 5 in that one, 4 2/3, got the loss. 6 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, a K. So right now, I'm not going to strike out a lot of guys. Not going to go deep into games to qualify for wins. And there's no reason to hold on to Carrasco. Like I said, last season was a good year, but for the Mets overall, I think it was a kind of lucky season, winning 101 games for that ball club. And this season, the luck ran out, I believe. So Carrasco is a pitcher I would drop this week. And the 5th and final pitcher I look to drop this week is Liam Hendricks of the Chicago White Sox. So a great story, obviously, recovering from cancer is Hendricks and coming back a few weeks ago. But now, elbow inflammation is never a good thing, obviously, in the pitching arm. And so far, 5 innings on the year, 2-0 record, a save, 3 Ks, 5.40 ERA, and a 1 whip. So off to a pretty decent start with Hendricks. But like I said, this elbow problem definitely could be an issue. And it could even require Tommy John for all we know here for Liam Hendricks. So right now, he's not a guy I'm going to hold on to. Obviously, he didn't have a spring training. He had a few rehab tune-ups before coming back to the major leagues. And that obviously could have done him in. And also with the new rules with the pitching clock and stuff like that could have played a factor in his elbow going. And we've seen a lot of Tommy John injuries this season with the pitch clock. A lot of good pitches out. And right now, unfortunately, Hendricks might be the next one. Hopefully he's not, but right now, fantasy owners, I wouldn't hold on to him. And like I say usually in my videos, if you're new to the channel or not, closes I don't really hold a high priority for on your fantasy team. So right now, while Hendricks is down, it looks like Kendall Graveman is going to fill in if you need a closer. And he's a pitcher I would drop this week, so that's a few pitches I look to drop here in Week 11 of the fantasy baseball season.